On October 31st, 2006, Need for Speed Carbon has been released together with Need for Speed Carbon Own the City. For those of you who are not familiar with the Need for Speed Carbon Own the City, it was a handheld release based off Need for Speed Carbon. It was released for PlayStation Portable, Nintendo DS, GameBoy Advanced and Zeebo, and everyone would believe that the game by itself is almost identical copy to console or PC version. But no, it greatly differs in terms of gameplay and settings. So what is different in Need for Speed Carbon Own the City? Let's start off with game story. You are challenged to build an unstoppable crew, win races against fierce rivals and outwit the cops. And here the similarities between Carbon and Carbon Own the City ends. The story unfolds as the protagonist participates in an illicit street race alongside their sibling Mick. A catastrophic car accident occurs during the race, resulting in the protagonist sustaining serious injuries and experiencing amnesia, while tragically claiming Mick's life. Meanwhile, player is suffering from serious injuries in a hospital. The city is divided into different crew territories. After the player fully recovers, he sets out to find who killed Mick, forming a crew to help them race and defeat the other crews, regaining territory and asking the defeated crew bosses what they know about the night when Mick was killed. Eventually, the protagonist receives information that the young driver named Buddy was responsible for a devastating crash. With the assistance of a crew leader known as X, the protagonist sets out to track down Buddy. During the confrontation, the protagonist learns that Buddy was hired by unknown individual to carry out Mick's murder, and is given a phone as evidence. Upon completing more races, the player encounters and defeats an undercover police officer named MK, who uses his connection with the city's police to trace Buddy's employer. Eventually, the protagonist uncovers the unsettling truth that X orchestrated Mick's assassination, prompting them to pursue X and eventually defeat him, leaving him at mercy of MK and the city police. Then later on, Sarah, who was Mick's girlfriend, appears and tells the player to race her, but this is followed by her revealing the truth that the player is the one that hired X to get rid of Mick, due to Mick's monstrous personality that hurt Sarah as well as the player. X in turn hired Buddy to crash Mick's car, which caused the accident that resulted in Mick's death. It was player's plan all along, as they promised Sarah would be freed from Mick. Sarah soon embraces her freedom, handing over Mick's watch and stating how different the player is to him. Honestly, this story was freaking amazing, and rightfully so. For some, it's even the best Need for Speed story. The story is set in Coast City, which is based off Rockport from Need for Speed Most Wanted, although some areas like Camden Beach are missing. Some things that are also different from Need for Speed Carbon are that Need for Speed Carbon Own the City doesn't feature autoscope, canyons and drift events, but it does offer 3 new racing events: Escape, in which player attempts to escape from a rival crew's territory; Delivery, in which players and their crew race the designated area with a package and attempt to beat other racers doing the same thing; and Crew Takedown, in which players try to eliminate a set number of rival racers to win. Need for Speed Carbon Own the City is also the first handheld Need for Speed game to feature free roam police pursuits, and the only handheld Need for Speed game to have an option to free roam the city, which automatically makes it one of the best handheld racing video games ever released. So yeah, this was Need for Speed Carbon Own the City. Need for Speed with the best story to be ever made. Although the game also had its issue, like races being too easy. It's still a really awesome game for PSP, Game Boy or Nintendo DS. And if you have one of these handheld consoles, I really recommend you to try get your hands on this game. You can get it for around 20 bucks on eBay or even less. And with all that said, drop a comment if you have played Need for Speed Carbon Own the City and what is your opinion about the game. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please drop the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet. And as always, have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.